Okay, so this is a really interesting time, you guys. I hate to come on here and have to take a spin on this Krissy Desmond. If you guys aren't aware, well, everybody's aware by now. But it was really interesting because we're talking about divorce, and even furthermore, we're talking about being married young. So, what it led me to is, what have I learned? Love isn't enough if the foundation isn't solid. I used to think that if you love somebody, you can make it work. But now I know love doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't fix disrespect. It doesn't change lack of communication. It doesn't replace emotional safety. Because you can love somebody deeply and still feel alone in the same house. Love is a beautiful thing. But love without stability is just chaos with memories. Because I had to learn who I was outside of being a wife. Get married young, you start becoming a we before you know what it is to become a me. You become somebody's partner, somebody's support system, and somebody's backbone. You don't even realize that you're disappearing in the process. Divorce forced me to look in the mirror and be like, who am I when nobody needs me? Who am I when nobody is depending on me? Who am I when I'm not trying to prove I'm enough? And that part, whew, whew, that changed it for me. It changes you in a way that I don't think you otherwise would have changed had you had not went through what you just went through. The third thing that I learned was being loyal won't save you, even if you're the only one fighting. This one is going to sting some people, but I learned that loyalty is not supposed to feel like suffering. You can't keep sacrificing your peace to keep a relationship alive. If you're the only one that's communicating, the only one that's compromising, the only one apologizing, and the only one holding it together, that's not teamwork. It's just survival. I had to learn that love is not supposed to be carried by one person, and oftentimes it is. The fourth thing that I learned is I stopped shrinking to keep the peace. This one was huge for me because I used to bite my tongue. Sometimes I would over explain, I would over give, I would over forgive, over function, all because I just wanted peace, right? Peace is something that I wasn't getting because I was getting quiet. There's a difference there. Thinking that you're going to bite your tongue and shrink yourself because it's going to reduce the chaos really only creates more of a distance and that quiet space. I had to realize that constantly shrinking myself to avoid that conflict turned into resenting my own life. So I learned how to speak up. I tried to learn how to create boundaries, and I'm not saying I was perfect at it. I learned to say no. Again, it's something that we're all still working on because it's hard to go from an overgiver, an over forgiver, to now creating these boundaries and creating a year of no versus a year of yes. But I learned how to stop feeling guilty for it. And I think that's the biggest component in changing those yeses to nos, because people who genuinely want to give and forgive and want to have that love and that relationship, we often feel guilty by now becoming the opposite. Because one thing somebody told me is people expect good people to be good people. So they know that you are good hearted, you're forgiving, and you're almost a doormat. And they're going to keep doing whatever they can to you as long as they can get away with it. The fifth thing that I learned is divorce didn't destroy me, it only introduced me. The fifth thing that I learned is that divorce didn't destroy me, it introduced me to me. Divorce is painful, I won't lie, but it is also an opportunity to be reborn. Because when you finally get tired of living in a version of yourself that was built to survive, you start choosing a version of yourself that's built to live. My biggest lesson in this is my life didn't end. Nope, it sure didn't. It restarted, it reshaped, it looks different, sure. But to be honest about it, it's what I deserve. My biggest lesson, my life didn't end, my life restarted. It restarted with me being honest about what I deserve. Not what I can tolerate, not what I can survive, but what I deserve. Because when you get married young, you don't realize how much of you is still loading, still buffering, still learning yourself and unlearning things that you were taught. And then divorce happens and it'll break you. I'm not gonna lie, it can break you. Or it'll build you into a version you didn't even know you were.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. Two can be as bad as one. It's the loneliest number since the number one. One is the loneliest number that you'll